Hey everyone, welcome to Papa's Workshop. I have to tell you, I'm so excited about having a 3D printer. It has made such a difference in my life. To be able to print out different items, to be able to organize the shop, and on the recent videos that I did where I was working on the art studio and making a cabinet for that, that has been phenomenal. I've been able to make some items that help to organize the art equipment. So today I want to just take a few minutes and show you some of the great things that I've been able to make using the 3D printer. Now some of these items I was able to download from the internet, and some I actually bought from the Etsy site. But all in all, there are tons of files out there. And if you can't find something that you need, that you want, design it yourself. You can do that quite easily. Whenever I get a new file, I like to just print one of the item first, just to make sure that everything is going to print correctly. Now I used the brim on this, and quite frankly, I didn't need to, because that makes cleanup just a little bit more of a challenge. Now this particular file I was able to obtain from the Etsy site, and this was a purchased file, and it did work phenomenally well. The art studio itself has made a huge transition, and it's really coming together nicely. The bookcase itself that's built in makes it where you have a place for everything. The cabinet and the desk that I made, you can clearly see in there that fits in the room nicely. And a lot of these different items were the IKEA products that were able to fit into this room, and this art studio has really made a transformation. After I printed the first test file, then I came back and decided to print two at a time. Now I could have printed more, but the time was just a little bit prohibitive. This takes about 12 hours to be able to print these two, and that way I could split it up and give the printer a break. I'm not sure that it really needed a break, but I did. So I printed these now two at a time, and I'm going to print a total of 7 of them. Now rather than use the brim, you can see I've switched over to the skirt. And after a considerable amount of time, all 7 of these are printed, and they are going to be able to hold 70 different markers and pencils. Now in the art studio, I had said that the IKEA system is what was used quite a bit, and these holders are designed specifically for the IKEA pegboard. And that was one of the reasons that I wanted to be able to purchase this file. It took all the guesswork out of trying to design this on my own. Now this whole art studio is designed and built by my daughter-in-law, and she had actually picked out the file. And I said, no problem, I'll purchase the file and print out as many of these as you wish. So she had said she wanted 6, well, I went ahead and gave her 7. Now the little hooks that go into the IKEA pegboards are printed separately, and again, they came out absolutely perfect. When you look at the tolerance that you have to be able to slip these in, they work absolutely fantastic. So they just slip right into the slot, push in place, lock in position, and you're ready to go to the pegboard itself. Now I don't have a pegboard here in the shop to be able to test it out, but from what I've read online with the reviews, this is going to fit absolutely perfectly. Now this is not a sponsored video for IKEA products, and it's not a sponsored video for this particular file that I had purchased from the Etsy, but it does work well. I took a spare room in the house and set up the 3D printers on its own table with a desk in between. The desk is great for being able to do the last minute design changes and such, and currently I'm actually using the 3D printers with the laptops. But actually, that's not necessary. With these 3D printers, I can just save the file onto a mini SD card, load it directly into the 3D printer, and that frees up the laptops to be able to do other projects. Now, one of the files that I absolutely love having is this one. This little file was downloaded free off of the Thingiverse, and it holds all of my thumb drives, the little mini SD cards, and even the regular sized SD cards. Now, one of the things that I truly like about having this is that it keeps all of my SD cards and thumb drives in one place, because quite frankly, they were scattered from the shop to the desk in the office and just all over the house. And this way I can have them all in one place so that when I'm working on a particular file, I know exactly where to reach and grab the particular SD card or mini card that I need. And this has worked out really well. Now this file I printed using the brim, and again, this is one that I think I could have used the skirt just fine to be able to print it. And I think I'm going to do a dedicated video just on the differences between using the brim and the skirt or the raft to be able to determine which was to be the best to be able to help with the adhesion to the workbed itself. And on a project such as this, where you have a very solid flat surface, you really don't need that brim. You could actually use the skirt, or for that matter, you don't need anything at all. But the brim itself attaches directly to the project, and it does take this extra time to be able to peel it off, and sometimes it doesn't come completely off in a nice clean manner, and then you have to end up cutting the rest of it off to be able to make the project really look the best that it can. And this is why I've started using the skirt rather than the brim in different cases, and I'm going to be experimenting with the raft as well on an upcoming project. But all in all, the end result is amazing, and this gets used in the shop all the time to be able to hold all of these different thumb drives, and by no means is this all of them. But I just wanted to put in a few just to show you how well this works. Another great project that I have done to help organize the tools in the shop is this little hex bit holder. And I've actually printed out a number of these to be able to keep all the different bits organized, and this has worked great. I downloaded this from the Thingiverse as a free file, and it again worked absolutely perfectly. Now this particular one was designed so it would fit in a drawer, and you have those two little slots on the side where you can put in magnets. Another idea I have is I want to design, or maybe I can actually find one to be able to download, but I wanted to design it so it'll fit on the wall, on the vertical. So I think that would be good because I do have some space that would be perfect for it. Now everything that I have printed has not been perfect. This was a sharpening jig that I had downloaded from the Thingiverse from an individual, but I have to say the scale was not correct. And there ended up being some problems in this that I, quite frankly, have to admit was my fault. I did not check it close enough to be able to fix the different errors before I printed it. Now this particular block, which is the main housing for this jig, I did size correctly. But after that, everything else was wrong. These parts are actually too small. And they're really, quite frankly, not usable at all. So those I could just throw away and have to start over. Now I did take and make sure that these holes did line up. So that portion was done right, but the problem is that these components were actually too small for the housing. And as a result, this ended up being a failed print, not from the printer, but because of the operator. Even this little knob, that is going to be too small to be able to receive the head of the bolt. So this was a fun project to do, and I learned a lot. I do want to give credit to the original designer, which is Marcus Hermberg. He does some absolutely amazing projects, and this is one of the projects that he had done and provided the free plans for. The person that I downloaded this from took the design and made his own changes, but that's where I ran into problems. But this is available so that you can download it and use the different guidelines and follow the plans. Just make sure that you put everything in proportion correctly. One of the most rewarding projects that I have made so far is making this Pokemon chess set for my grandson. He absolutely loves it, and I think it turned out fantastic. Now you notice I used the brim to be able to give the support to these pieces, and quite frankly, it really wasn't necessary. I could have easily used the skirt or used nothing at all because these pieces really didn't need it. But this was nice in the fact that I could print multiple pieces at one time and have excellent results. I love doing this project, and again, this was a great learning experience to be able to print these chess pieces out. With each project that I do, I learn more and more about the 3D printing, and I think the results are getting better and better with each print. One of the big things that I'm learning is when you need supports and when you do not need supports. This particular project actually overhangs at about a 45-degree angle, and all of these holes to be able to hold the pins were at that same angle. But oddly enough, no supports were necessary at all to be able to print this item out. In addition, I've used a number of different brand filaments, and so far I really don't have a preference as to say which one is better, one versus the other. All of them have worked extremely well for my needs and what I have been printing out. So there's the tip of the iceberg of the different type of projects that I have been printing with the 3D printer. I absolutely love the addition of the 3D printers to the shop. And I would certainly encourage anyone that's doing the CNC machines, the lasers, or just plain woodworking, this is a great addition to the mix to be able to add another level of the capability and flexibility into the shop. This has been a fantastic adventure so far, and I can't wait to do more and more of the printing of these types of projects and much, much more. I want to thank everybody for watching this video today and being able to see some of the amazing things that you can do with the 3D printer. Now, I have some other ideas that I'm working on right now, and some of these I'm having to design myself. So those videos will be coming out in the near future. So if you like this video, by all means, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget, hit that little subscribe button right down there and the notification so that you'll be notified on the different videos, because I'm hoping that these videos will help improve your lives and the knowledge in the woodworking, 3D printing, and of course the lasers. So for now, I'm going to say bye-bye. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the shop real soon. Bye-bye now.